October, but the case was kept under wraps while the investigation spun out. She's now been indicted and charged with conspiracy to provide material support to terrorists and to kill a person in a foreign country. Police in Ireland have arrested 7 other people in the case, 4 men and 3 women, originally from Algeria, Croatia, Palestine, Libya, and the United States. They were in their 20s, their 30s, and their 40s. Combining that data with notable attempted terrorist attacks against the United States in the last decade, carried out or allegedly carried out by a guy of Jamaican descent from London, a guy of Palestinian descent from Virginia, and a Nigerian guy who posted awkward I need a hug emo vacation pictures of himself online. If we racially profile based on our recent experience with terrorism, then it's clear. It's clear, it's obvious, it's common sense. We are now looking for anyone who is a man, a woman, an American, an African, a Middle Easterner, an Eastern European, a Western European, a blonde, a brunette, or between the ages of 20 and 49, which by my calculation leaves only one being on planet Earth above reproach, and that is Alf. Hi, Alf. Alf's good. Everybody else, I'm sorry, you fit the profile. Governor Bob McDonnell of Virginia had only been in office about a week and a half when he was tapped to deliver the GOP response to the State of the Union address. About a week after that, the new governor, McDonnell, still in his first month in office, went to the trouble of rescinding an executive order concerning discrimination and state workers. Governor McDonnell rescinded the old anti-discrimination order and replaced it with one that explicitly didn't protect gay people from discrimination. It was Executive Order Number 6, effectively making it legal for a government office in Virginia to, say, put out a wanted ad that said gays need not apply. Under Executive Order Number 6, that would not be illegal. A supervisor at a Virginia branch of the DMV, say, could call in employees one by one, quiz them about their sexual orientation, and fire the gay ones. Under Executive Order Number 6, that would be legal. Then Virginia's newly elected Republican Attorney General, Ken Cuccinelli, took a further step. He sent a letter last Thursday to state colleges and universities telling them that Virginia law prohibits them from including sexual orientation in any non-discrimination policy. That prompted students across the Commonwealth to mobilize on Facebook at Virginia Commonwealth University and with a march on the state capitol. In response, this afternoon, Governor McDonnell seems to have caved, sort of. Executive Order Number 6 still stands, but today he issued Executive Directive Number 1. Executive Director says, well, I'll let him tell you.
We will not tolerate discrimination in Virginia based on any of the factors in the Human Rights Act or any other basis, including sexual orientation, parental status, anything else.
Sounds awesome, right? Sounds like a man who might want to run as a compassionate conservative at the national level someday. The thing is, the details matter here. In Virginia, an executive directive doesn't have the weight of law behind it, like, say, an executive order, which is what he used to rescind gay rights. An executive director is like a request. So Governor McDonnell is basically saying to state agencies, come on, guys, do me a favor, no gay discrimination, okay? It's very convincing coming from him, right? Joining us now is Howard Fineman, MSNBC political analyst and senior Washington correspondent at Newsweek magazine. Hi, Howard. Thanks very much for coming back on the show.
Hi, Rachel.
What's your understanding of what just happened in Virginia? How big a deal is this for the state?
Well, I think it's a big deal. I think the governor and his staff have been working on this for days. They've been in sort of crisis management mode. I talked to most of his top people late today as I tried to piece this together for the show tonight. The interesting and ironic thing is they think, now we're talking about a conservative Republican here, they think, to use the words of one of their staffers, we think we deftly threaded the needle here. Well, they only deftly threaded the needle within the confines of the people who vote in Republican primaries in places like Virginia. For the rest of the state, I don't know, but they were very concerned. They got to be very concerned, especially after the Attorney General really laid it on with the college students, because Bob McDonnell does have national aspirations, and Virginia is a different state from what it was a while ago. Bob McDonnell got a lot of votes in northern Virginia, which is the Washington suburbs. He wants to portray himself as a moderate, as you say, compassionate conservative. That's why he issued this directive today.
Governor McDonnell, of course, during the campaign, it emerged that he wrote a thesis while he was at Pat Robertson's Liberty University, which said that government policy should favor married couples over, quoting, cohabitators, homosexuals, or fornicators. When he rescinded the anti-discrimination policy for gay people, a lot of people said, hey, we told you he was this right-wing. Does he really need to seem more moderate in order to have national appeal? It seems like every other Republican in the country is tacking right.
Yeah, but he already has that thesis behind him, shall we say. And he has the Pat Robertson credentials behind him. He ran as a job creator, you know, Bobs for jobs. That was their theme. As a matter of fact, today they stressed the fact that they just passed a bill and he signed it for offshore drilling in Virginia and so forth, money for transportation. He would like to portray himself that way, and I think the fact that he did this, even though it does not have the force of law, as you say, they would argue that the state legislature would have to change things. The fact is, as you pointed out, both Governor Mark Warner and Governor Tim Kaine did issue such an executive order. It was in place when McDonnell got here, but he would like to position himself in a more moderate vein than, say, Cuccinelli. You know, the conservative movement has got three parts to it. It's got the anti-tax conservatives, the Liz Cheney foreign policy conservatives, and the social conservatives. McDonnell doesn't want to be known as that socialist conservative. He wants to be a pro-business conservative. And believe me, he's already on the White House radar because he won this race in Virginia. Virginia is a state the Democrats won. Tim Kaine, the former governor, is head of the Democratic Party. It's on their radar screen, and you can expect a lot of attention to McDonnell from the White House over the next couple of years.
I think that because of the way McDonnell did this with the directive versus the executive order, because gay rights groups nationally have been so energized by this, and students in Virginia have been so energized by this, I think if he's looking to escape a sort of Jesse Helms national tarnish on an issue like this, he's underestimating
I agree.
his opposition here. You agree with that?
I would agree. I would agree with you. That's why I said at the beginning, they threaded the needle only within the conservative part of the Republican Party. Not in the country nationally, not in Virginia nationally. Don't forget, right across the river here in Virginia, gay marriage is now legal. I mean, this is the metropolitan Washington area. This is the country as a whole. I think he's kidding himself. I agree with you if he thinks he solved his problem with the country as a whole.
MSNBC political analyst Howard Fineman, thank you for reporting for this on this for us tonight, and thanks for your time, Howard. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Rachel.
The tireless activist, one-time U.S. Senate candidate against Judd Gregg, and New Hampshire native known as Granny D, has died. Doris Haddock, better known as Granny D, walked her way into the public eye in 1999 when at the age of 89, she launched a 14-month, 3,200-mile walk across the country to promote campaign finance reform. Her journey was documented in the HBO film Run, Granny, Run. In 2004, she ran against New Hampshire Republican Senator Judd Gregg. She lost, but she proved again that she was so tough you could whittle with her. Granny D died at home in Dublin, New Hampshire yesterday at the age of 100. A public memorial service is being planned, which I'm just saying might make for a handy deadline to aim for members of Congress working on campaign finance legislation to remedy the recent Citizens United decision. That Supreme Court ruling was the biggest blow ever to Granny D's cause of getting big money out of our elections. Maybe a powerful member of Congress will be able to stand up at that memorial service and say they're taking the baton from her. They're taking on her cause. It could happen. It could. You never know. That does it for us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow night when I will be in Washington, D.C. to interview the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Countdown starts right now. Have a great night.